Hi everyone, thank you for tuning back into Planning with Ravyn. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you do not want to miss out on any good information that we discuss here in this channel. Last video, I mentioned I would do a Q&A since we finally hit triple digit subscribers. I also want to say you all sent me some great questions, and I am so thrilled to have the opportunity to answer some of them here today. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first question that we're going to be answering, so we'll do 5 questions basically. So one of the questions, how should you manage debt to income ratio? Now, this is a great question, and before I answer it, I want to just provide some context on what this person's asking. So, debt to income ratio, otherwise known as DTI, debt to income, is a ration that compares your monthly debt expenses to your monthly gross income. So, basically, to calculate your DTI ratio, you want to add all payments that you're making towards debt during an average month. So, this is going to include credit card payments, car loans, other debt such as payday loans, investment loans, mortgage principal, the interest, the tax that you're paying on that, and whatever else that you can think of that you're paying out. Once done, once you have that number, you want to divide your monthly debt payment by your monthly gross income. And yes, I said gross, which is your income prior to taxes being taken out or being deducted. So if once you have that number and you find out that your DTI ratio is higher than 36%, now 36% is pretty large, and it's not too bad, but it's getting up there basically. So if you find out that your DTI is higher than 36%, you may want to take some precautionary measures immediately to reduce this. And some things that you can do is like increasing your monthly payments on things, avoid more debt, and then just postpone making large purchases. That would definitely assist you in that. Question number 2, how do you purchase a bond? So I really like this question as we've discussed purchasing stocks before, right? But we've never actually discussed the process of purchasing bonds. And before we get into that, I just want to provide some context on what a bond is in simple terms because they can get really, really confusing. So, a bond is basically a fixed income instrument that represents a loan made by an investor to a borrower. The borrower is typically like corporate or governmental, but they are used by different companies, states, sovereign governments to basically finance projects and other little operations. If you are the owner of a bond, you are considered the debt holder or creditor of the issuer. So hopefully that provided some context on what a bond is. We may talk about this in more detail if you all are interested. But if you are interested in purchasing a government bond, the most common is like US Treasury bonds. You can actually do so through a broker, or you can do so directly through Treasury Direct. For Treasury bonds, I do want to say they're issued in increments of $100, so they're not too bad. Something that's really nice about bonds is that they pay interest on the regular, so they can help you generate some steady and predictable income in comparison to stocks, because as we know, they're not predictable at all. They go up and down on the daily. Number 3, how should you plan to pay off debt? So I just want to say, debt isn't something that most of us are proud of. Whether it's student loans or past credit card overspending, hiding from your debts does not make them disappear. They do not go away. It might be emotionally challenging to face the reality, but doing so and taking control and methodically paying them down, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel a whole lot better, actually, because you're becoming in control of your finances. So I want you to think back to any and all debt that you have collected over the years, including money borrowed from family, from friends, and you make a list of what that debt is, what is left to pay, and what you're paying every month. I do want to say I made a video a couple of months ago. It's called The Top 4 Financial Life Steps. That video is a bit longer than my typical videos that I upload. However, those steps are the key, you guys, the key to paying off debt in a strategic way. I'm going to place the link below if anyone is interested. That video, the steps in that video actually helped me get to a better financial and emotional state of mind. So definitely check that video out if you have not already seen it. Number 4, what are some good financial goals to have? So this is actually another great question because if you don't have clearly defined financial goals, the chances of making progress and achieving those goals is like slim to none. So some example goals I would say would be college, debt payoff, saving for a home, retirement, investments, a new toy if you can financially, afford that, emergency funds, things along those lines. Those are just some ideas, right? But in reality, it all depends on like where you are with your finances, where you are with your personal life, and where you want to go. That'll kind of give you some context around some goals that you should potentially be following for you and yourself. Personally do to stay consistent with your budget? All right, so I know I don't talk about myself directly on my channel, so I thought I'd answer this one as I get a lot of questions about how I personally handle certain financial situations. For those of you who don't know, if you couldn't tell by my channel, I am a goal setting junkie when it comes to like finances and just organization. But I'm not gonna lie to you all. Sometimes I'm not motivated, and sometimes it's really hard for me to stay motivated and stay consistent with the goals that I have set for myself. So typically for me, it looks like in the beginning of the year, I'll create a yearly goal, like the big yearly goal that I know it's going to take me some time to achieve. And then I'll break that goal down across the months. And then I'll break that down across the week. So then by the time it's all said and done, I have this big goal that's way out there 12 months down the line, and I have, weeks to kind of figure it out and adjust. So if I am struggling to meet the goal I have set, I would just break it down into daily goals. So I break it down a little bit more. That way I'm like making progress, like, slowly but surely, but it also allows me to not overwhelm myself because when you have big goals that you set for yourself, they can be extremely overwhelming, and sometimes it feels like you can't achieve them, especially when you're doing them by yourself and you don't have a spouse, you don't have a partner to help you. Because, additional income, like second or third or fourth income from a spouse, definitely does help and it makes it a lot easier. But some of us just, we don't have that. So, there are months where I'll set like challenges for myself and they excite me to be doing something different with my budget. So it helps me stay consistent with the bigger goal that I have in place for myself. So, for example, for the month of August, I basically put myself to stay. This is ridiculous, guys. Like, let me just tell you. So, the goal that I set for myself for the month of August was to spend no more than $100 bi-weekly. That goal was very, very crazy. I am not doing well with that goal, but it was a challenge and it definitely made me more aware. I discussed this in one of my past videos as well with the budget book that I did the experiment on, and now like my next challenge for September is to add basically like half what I spent this month. So, did I meet the goal that I originally set for the month of August? I did not, like not even close. But I did provide some context to myself with more awareness. I'm really aware of where my money is going, but sometimes spending does happen, and that's why it's important to budget and plan and make sure you're just like aligning your finances with your personal growth and development. So there you have Q&A with Ravyn. As always, I appreciate you all for supporting a small channel. And if you ever have topics, I know that some of you all send me emails pretty frequently. And I try to respond as often as I can. But if there's topics that you would like me to do a video on, like a full video on, do not hesitate to send them my way. I'm more than happy to review those and see what I can do. So see you on next time.